The mics are on, both. بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم الحمد لله رب العالمين والصلاة والسلام على سيدنا محمد وأهل بيته الطيبين الطاهرين اللهم صل على محمد وآل محمد. So the title of tonight's lesson is The School of the Narrators and Jurists. Madrasatul Ruwat. Ruwat is narrators. Ruwat, narrators. Fuqaha, jurists. This is a distinguished school. Not just the school of jurists, fuqaha, but the school of al-ruwat al-fuqaha. What does that tell you? What difference it makes if I say only the school of jurists versus the school of narrators, jurists. Ruwat al-fuqaha. Al-ruwat al-fuqaha, both.
Close to the imams, right?
So, close to the imams, it means what? If they are,
Trustworthy,
No.
reliable.
Trustworthy, reliable, correct. But why do we call them Al-Ruwatul Fuqaha?
Because they are knowledgeable.
They are knowledgeable. They are endorsed. But this, you are not answering me. Answering my specific question here. This question is very specific. Why do we call them narrators, jurists? Not just fuqaha, not just jurists. Narrators. Important.
Oh, because they're not doing ijtihad, they're just passing on what they heard.
No. Their ijtihad is based on riwayah, narrations. Not that they do. Otherwise, why do we call them faqih? If he's not faqih, mujtahid, then why do we call him? Faqih means he has the ability to extract, to derive the law. This is the meaning of faqih. If he doesn't have the ability, don't call him faqih. But then, the basis and the foundation of his ijtihad and his derivation of the law, the extraction of the law, are the riwayat. Mostly the riwayat. This is how they raised them. To look into our knowledge. The knowledge of the imams was introduced through what? Riwayah, exactly. Whatever the imam said, through the riwayah. This is how his knowledge surfaced or was presented. Assalamu alaikum. Okay? So the riwayah is the basis for fiqh. And riwayah was about fiqh mostly, halal and haram. Sharia, fiqh. So they trained them in a way that the foundation for your ijtihad is the riwayah. This is why we call it al-ruwatul fuqaha. Mostly the riwayah. As Nadeem said, because they were close to the time of imams, and as Arish and Afsana mentioned, they were trustworthy, honest, intelligent. So the imam trained them to make the basis for their ijtihad the riwayah, the hadith. Hadith is the foundation. The hadith of the imams are the foundation.
Are they all directly trained by imams?
Are they?
Directly trained by
Yes.
various
Yeah.
Or they came, let's say...
No. Most of the time we mentioned previously, we mentioned names of 12 ones. Okay? We put the names of 12 ones. Those are the top intelligent and very active scholars. Those are the top 12 ones, but there are many others who were not in that list. We will mention some of them probably tonight or next time. And they were trained under the supervision and the care and directly under the imam's care. Some of them would come from no background. They had no background. Come to Medina. Some of them were young, very young when they came. So, and then this madrasa, this school, this is very important, my friends. It might be a little bit difficult, tonight's lesson. a little bit difficult, but it teaches you a lot. You're going to learn a lot. You're going to learn a lot. The methodology of this school, that we call it Ar-Ruwatul Fuqaha. Why do we call it Ruwatul Fuqaha? Because they were jurists, right? They were jurists, but they based their foundation on the hadiths of the Imams. So they extract the ruling, the fatwa, the answers, mostly from the hadiths of the Imams. Mostly from the hadiths of the Imams. This is why they are Ar-Ruwat. The methodology is based on three. Let me erase this because I need the board. I need to write. Okay? The methodology is based on three things. Number one, understanding the connotation of the text. Text means hadith. What does that mean? There are certain incidents where someone comes to the Imam and he asks him a specific mas'ala. Something happened to him, specific mas'ala, specific incident. And the Imam answers him accordingly. The Imam answers him accordingly. Now, when he answers him accordingly, does that mean that this answer only applies to this case, or it might apply to similar cases too? Sorry. Does it only apply? He comes, he says, أصاب ثوبي بول. I was in the bathroom urinating. The urine splashed on my dress. Imam says, طهره بالماء. طهر. If you know, if you saw, if you feel, if you are sure that there is urine on your dress, then wash it with water. Wash it with water. This is the text, okay? Now, let's replace urine with blood. Both are najis. And let's replace the thawb with a table. If asaba damun, this desk. We come and see human blood on this desk. What do we do? Nobody asked the Imam this question, for instance. We couldn't find riwayah. Can we borrow this one? Same principle or not? Because the Imam said no. The Imam, his hadith was only about urine and only about the dress.
But yes, but it's the same najis, so it should be the same application.
Same principle, same problem. Huh? Is it okay?
I think so.
What do you think?
Yeah, I think, you have to think about it, but yeah, we could somehow relate it.
What do you think, my friends? You have to say something. Salam alaikum.
Are you asking a specific
Yeah.
question related to this Sayyid, or are you asking a general question?
No.
This specific question?
The
this
Imam, the person came to the Imam, he spoke, he said, Asaba thawbi bawlun. Bowl, urine, touched my dress. Now, you go home, you see blood on the bed. Blood, not urine, okay, on the bed. So two different things. It's not urine, it's not a dress. Can you use this same hadith? And the Imam said to him, purify it with water.
Yeah, because the variables
Mhm.
And so you can deduce that from that.
It depends. He has to understand the connotation.
In this case,
Because in certain cases, some types of najasat, impurities, require more than water. Requires what? No, dirt, turab, and water. Like the cup, the dish, the plate, where the dog licks when he eats, and he licks that dish, it has to be cleaned. Dirt first and water second. Cleansing. So the student has to understand, the second episode, which is a blood and bed or a blood and desk, is similar. But does it require further cleansing or not? How does he know that? Because in case of the licking of the dog, the Imams say this is istithna, exception. All najasat, you can purify them with water, except licking of the dog. It requires more effort, more purification, more cleansing, more cleaning. But they didn't say this about the blood. So the blood is considered like what? Normal najasa, like the urine. Okay? So they have to understand this. So this is one methodology. Because the Imams do not have hadith for every occasion. They don't. Otherwise, you have to have millions of hadith. They have hadiths for specific. But does that specific apply to other cases or not? In some cases it does. In some cases it doesn't. It doesn't. Okay? Did you understand this point, my friends? This is number one. Number two. الإفتاء بالمروي بنفس صيغته وألفاظه. الإفتاء, using the same hadith exactly. The second way of ijtihad or ifta', let's say ifta'. Ifta' is what, my friends? Ifta', what do we mean by ifta'? Huh? Giving fatwa. Giving the ruling or the fatwa. This is called ifta'. Is that they use the wording of the Imam, because many of the ahadiths of the Imam, al-Baqir, and al-Sadiq, and al-Kadhim, and al-Rida alayhim as-salam, was an answer to someone. An inquirer came to him, Yabna Rasulullah, I was doing tawaf, and then I shakaktu, I had doubt, is this the 6th round or the 7th round? What should I do? Okay? The Imam says to him, you resume the tawaf from the beginning. From the beginning. It's not like the prayers. Huh? The prayers, when you have doubt between the 2nd and the 3rd, or the 3rd and the 4th, what do? You consider it to be the highest one. But in the tawaf, you cannot say, I consider it no. Unfortunately, when you have doubt, then you start all over again. So it's different. So they would use the wording, the hadith of the Imam, exactly the hadith, as a fatwa in their books. Such as what? Shaykh al-Kulayni. Al-Kulayni did this. In his fiqh books, remember, Kulayni had how many types of books? He had books in the field of what? In the field of hadith, riwayah, which is what? Kafi. And then he has books in the field of what? Beside the riwayah, the hadith, he has written books in the field of what? أحسنتي. فقه. Same thing, Sheikh al-Tusi, he has books written in tafsir, which is at-Tibyan, we studied yesterday. He has books of hadith, at-Tahdhib, al-Istibsar. He has books of fiqh also, an-Nihaya. So those and other scholars, this is just an example, two of them. In their books, in their fiqh books, have you seen the Risala today, Risala of the Maraja? Have you seen? They begin with chapter of Tahara. After Tahara, they come to Ibadat, Salat, Siyam, Hajj, whatever, Khums. Those ulama, earlier ulama, they use article number 1, he doesn't put his opinion, he puts the opinion of the Imam. Nowadays they don't. Do you see hadith in the book of Risala? You don't see hadith. If you search the Risala from cover to cover of all Maraja today, they don't put hadith. They'll give you the result. They give you their own ijtihad, their own fatwa. They extract it from the hadith, but they don't mention the hadith. But earlier, those people, they would put the exact hadith. This is how the Imam trained their students. So they have a shortcut. They don't say, this is my opinion, because he was close to the Imam time. Either he saw the Imam, or he didn't see the Imam. He saw whoever saw the Imam. Ashab of the Imam, companions of the Imam. So the hadith was still fresh out of the oven, freshly baked. Okay? So they used the hadith itself. Najat asked, why did they stop? Why did they stop? Good question. Why did they stop now? Too much a gap that results in what?
New situations that you don't have answers for.
No, not only that. Because at that time, the society, close to the time of the Imams, they heard the speeches, the answers of the Imams. Their mind, their culture was familiar with it. Nowadays, if you read the hadith of the Imam, rarely, maybe 1% of people would understand it. The rest would not understand. The rest would tell you, Maulana, explain. So rather than me putting the hadith of the Imam and leaving it vague, I have to explain it. So if I want to explain it, why should I put the hadith? I would put my explanation. The culture is different. Now we are not familiar with the culture of hadith. Our ears are not. We don't understand the hadith. Even the Arab community, let alone when I want to translate it to Farsi and English and French and Spanish, but even if you speak in an Arabic setting, you read the hadith, they say, okay, so what? Is it now halal or haram? This is the reason. Najat, did you get the reason? Because at that time, people's mind, people's thoughts were familiar with the literature, with the language of the Imams. Today, Nahj al-Balagha, we have to have Sharh Nahj al-Balagha. Sharh. Many shuruh has, many explanations. But in the past, Imam Ali speaks in the market, people understand him. Most people understand him. I would say 90%. Maybe not 100%, but 90%. They don't need Sharh to go and open the dictionary. Oh, what did he say? Let me check it out. But now it's different. The language is different. The culture is different. The level of understanding is... Yes, maybe we understand in physics and medicine and chemistry and astrology, but when it comes to fiqh, it's not that much understanding. Okay, so... okay. Then we come to the third. The third one here. Third one here is third methodology of training them is تطبيق القاعدة على موردها فيما لا نص فيه في في لا نص خاصا خاص فيه. This is a bit similar to the first one. تطبيق, to apply the maxim, the fiqh maxim, to a situation with no hadith. What do I mean by a situation with no hadith? Answer. What do I mean by it? Put it down and then we will explain it.
You mean extracting the general rule from the specific hadith that they narrated and then applying that general rule to a situation that's occurring today.
Exactly. So the general rule is this maxim. Imam gives an answer. They take that answer as a maxim, as we studied. How many days we spent studying maxims? Remember the maxims? When we put the maxim here, we said this maxim is, what is the dalil? Do you remember the dalil, the evidence? We would put the evidence here, dalil. What was the dalil mostly? We begin with Quran, text, and after that, hadith of the Imams. These are maxims. So we make this hadith, the authentic hadith, as a maxim that applies to other situations where it does not have an answer, doesn't have a hadith. Such as قاعدة لا ضرر ولا ضرار. Can I erase this? Did you put this? I'm now speaking about number 3. I'm explaining number 3. When I erase this, we are in number 3, not in number 1 or 2. Okay? قاعدة لا ضرر ولا ضرار. قاعدة. Who remembers this? قاعدة لا ضرر ولا ضرار. Who set this maxim? Whose hadith is this? لا ضرر ولا ضرار. Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam. Which incident? Do you remember which incident that prompted him to mention this? Which incident? The tree incident. The tree incident, one of the companions owned a tree in a house that was owned by someone else. Maybe he sold the house without the tree. So he would come anytime. People are in the house, women, girls, without hijab. He just pushes the door and he says, I want to sit, enjoy my selfish, someone who's really cuckoo and selfish. So those people said to him, knock at the door, please. He said, I don't knock at the door, my tree. They said to him, okay, at least tell us when do you come? Do you come in the morning, in the afternoon? So we are ready. If you don't want to knock at the door. He said, no, I'm not going to tell him. I can come anytime. He's Muslim and he lives in Medina and he prays behind the Prophet. Can you imagine? What sort of person is this? He said, no, I don't care. I can come anytime. So he would come and they, get, what shall I say, shocked because a man all of a sudden entering your room, your house, with no permission. Yeah. So they went to the Prophet. The story is long, make it very, very, very short. They complained many times. The Prophet said to him, sell them the tree. He said, I don't. Sell it to me. I buy it from you. I'll give you the money. Buy the house from them. He said, I don't buy the house. He gave him many options. Knock at the door. He said, I don't. I don't. The Prophet here got angry and he said to the owner of the house, the father of the house, the family, go uproot the tree and throw it into his face. فإنه, because, for لا ضرر ولا ضرار في الإسلام. Neither you should hurt nor you should bear the hurt of others or accept people hurting you. Neither you hurt nor be subject of hurt or abuse. Okay? Yeah. Powerful, powerful maxim. This is powerful. We use it in economy, we use it in family affairs, we use it in politics, we use it in the street, we use it at home, we use it in our relationships. Powerful, very powerful. Now, does this maxim only apply to the episode of the tree, palm tree, or we can use it elsewhere? We can use it in millions of places. Another place where fuqaha say this one applies is when someone digs a well in his village and he gets water. The well is in a public place. Public place, not private, not his house. Okay? Public place. Let's say in the middle of the village, in the middle, the square of the village, in downtown village. And he uses water for himself. Can he put a lock on this well? They used to put a lock, you know. They shut it with a gate, put a lock. Or he can't. Can he deprive others from using this water? Because this well is in the middle of the village and people are in need. What do you think?
No. He should allow other people.
Share.
Yeah.
Because la darar, because he's going to hurt the people in the village.
Yeah.
This is water. Everyone needs water. All people need it for all sorts of things, from morning till evening. So he cannot do that. So this maxim applies to this. He cannot forbid his neighbors or the people of his village from using this well. Okay? Then there is qa'idatul yad. Another qa'idah. This is qa'idat la darar. Qa'idatul yad. The hand. The maxim of the hand. What does the maxim of the hand mean? No, please don't go to that area. Please. Be peaceful. Qa'idatul yad, the maxim of the hand, is that someone came to the imam. He said to him, I went to the market. Someone was selling goods to me. I had doubt, check, is he the owner or not? Did he steal this or this is his own? The imam said to him, if you have doubt, you don't have knowledge. Doubt is not knowledge. Doubt is shak, no knowledge. Suspicion. Then, in this case, because he is carrying it, it is in his possession. Qa'idatul yad means possession. Possession. Not necessarily carrying it with you. It's in your car. It's on your head. You put it's here. You are carrying it. As long as he has his hand is on it, it's in his own possession, you treat it as what? Belongs to him. Now, if I see someone driving a car and then he says, would you buy this car from me? Does this maxim apply or not?
What was it one more time?
Someone driving a car in the street and he puts for sale. Should I? And he's, let's say, he's, I don't want to sound racist, but let's say he's, not white. So people suspect that he's, stealing this car. Can I buy it from him? Can I assume that he's the owner or huh? According to this.
Yeah, because you have to go by the laws of the land, and the laws of the land is you cannot sell a car without the title or the pink slip.
No, the title, no problem.
He has that?
Yeah.
Okay, then.
He will show me the title later on. That is the last stage to sign the title. But before, can I negotiate if he's driving it? He came, he parked the car. He parked the car and he got out of...
first impression, we
Yeah.
have to assume.
Exactly. Because it's in his position. Unless, when I see the title, no, the title is not. Or there is qarina. Let's say the qarina is that he comes out and he runs away. As soon as he sees the cops, he runs away. Maybe this is qarina. Maybe this is an indication that he's fugitive or this is not his car. Unless, otherwise, I should assume. Someone living in a building, he says, I sell this building to you. I rent it to you. He's living in the building. This happens in the court, you know. Two people quarrel over the iPhone. It's with one person. The other comes, he says, this is mine. The other person has to bring me an evidence, not the one who is carrying it. The one who is carrying it, his evidence is with him. Why? Why the evidence is with him? The one who's carrying the phone. Why? Because it's in his hand. You who are telling me it is mine, you have to bring me shahid, a witness that this is not his, this is yours. Otherwise, if you don't have, I leave it in his hand. I leave it as it is. Qa'idatul yad. So this can apply to so many many cases. Though the Imam was asked about someone who's a thief in the market. Should I trust him? Not a thief. I thought he's a thief. Should I buy it from him or not? The Imam said yes. But then you can apply it to many other cases. Not just objects. Could be a house, could be a car, could be an airplane, could be anything. I assume because he's there, because he's carrying the keys are in his. Even if he's not riding the car, he has the keys. The keys are with him. Unless he's going for oil change. Oil change is different. This is qarina. Oil change is qarina. You cannot assume that the owner of that shop, the oil change shop, is the owner of all these cars. Because people bring, this is qarina, this is indication, okay? That they bring their car just to fix it for an hour, 2, 3, 4 hours. But if someone is parking his car in front of his driveway and he has the keys, I should assume that he's the owner. Okay? And then the last example. The last example is Imam gives a maxim called قاعدة ظواهر الكتاب. What does ظواهر الكتاب means? The apparent meaning of the Quran. So if the Quran says a sentence, first I have to take the apparent meaning. Unless what, my friends? I said this many times, so help me with it. Don't leave me alone. Unless there is what? Which tells you don't take the apparent meaning. Not conflict. Qarina, indication that no. Such as what? Qarina is ayatul tathir in suratul ayatul tathir. لامستم النساء. Touch woman. The apparent meaning, just look at me, my friends, for 1 second. Look at me, don't write anything. The apparent meaning, literal meaning, simple meaning, when you touch women, touch means this. When you touch a woman, your wudu is invalidated. But there is an indication that this is not physical touching. This is what? Intimacy. This is intercourse. The Quran does not use polite, uses lamastum al-nisa. Lamastum, touching. But this is intimacy. So we don't take the apparent meaning. We take the real meaning here. There is another hidden meaning, polite meaning. Okay? Quran is using this politely. So, but there is a qarina indication because the hadith explains this. Otherwise, we have to take it at what? At face value, the apparent meaning. Because there is qa'idah, Imam says, you go back to the Quran. Someone comes to the Imam, he says, Yabna Rasulullah, should I wash my feet or wipe it during the wudu? Imam says to him, the answer is in the Quran. وَامْسَحُوا بِرُؤُوسِكُمْ وَأَرْجُلِكُمْ. Someone asks the Imam, Yabna Rasulullah, people outside, others, not Ahlul Bayt people, they are wiping not just this, the head, they are wiping other areas, this side, that side, the ears. The Imam says the answer is in the Quran. وَامْسَحُوا بِرُؤُوسِكُمْ بِرُؤُوسِكُمْ بعض يعني. بِرُؤُوسِكُمْ. Ba means part of your head, not your entire head. So this means the Imam is referring me to the Quran, to what you read, what you understand in the Quran, to the simple meaning of the Quran. So this becomes a maxim. The maxim says what? ظواهر الكتاب. What the Quran is telling me, the basic meaning of the Quran. Unless there is an indication, such as this one, that no, this is not the meaning. This means something else. Are you with me or not? Huh? صلى الله وسلم على سيدنا محمد وأهل بيته الطيبين الطاهرين.